2026 gonna be full of hits when you check out the books that I got on my list. Yeah. Yo, am I wildin'? I got bars for fake though, right? What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for clicking into this video. My name is Joy if you're new here, and if you're not, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again for another video. So a little birdie told me that you're trying to build your 2026 TBR. So I have 11 books. 10 is a more rounded number, but I just couldn't leave them off. So I have 11 books that you can use to build your 2026 TBR. And now y'all know I read across genres because what? A bop is a bop. So let's get into this list. So we're going to build this list based on my top reads of 2025. I'm just going to go in the order in which I read them. So nothing is ranked by least, worst, favorite, none of that. I'm just going in chronological order. So first up, we have James by Percival Everett. And this book is a retelling of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. And it is from the perspective of Jim, who was the slave. And this book is short but sweet and poignant, and I definitely think that you should add it to your 2026 TBR. Respectfully, it should be required reading because I had to read Mark Twain when I was in high school or middle school. So if they had me reading that, then everybody should be reading this because it's just that good. The perspective of Jim is incredible. The story is incredible. It's heartbreaking. It's deep. It makes you think. I laughed though, like I can't even front. I definitely did giggle a bit, but this was really a great book, and it should definitely be on your radar. Now, for all my psychological thriller lovers out there, you definitely need to add The Best Lies by David Ellis to your 2026 TBR because when I tell y'all, this book was absolutely crazy. David Ellis is such a great thriller author. Like the twists and the turns in his books are absolutely insane. This book follows Leo, who is a pathological liar, but also an attorney who is hell bent on finding justice for his clients. And he gets caught up in this murder mystery where his DNA is planted at the scene. So he has to clear his name. But remember, he's also a liar. So nobody believes him. And then he has to work with his ex, who was the one who got away. And the story just takes so many twists and turns. It's so good. So y'all definitely should add this to your TBR as well. My historical fiction lovers in the house, we have Junie by Erin Crosby Eckstein. And this book, first of all, let's look at the cover. The cover is stunning, okay? But Junie is about 16-year-old Junie who lives on this plantation where she's been all of her life. And she has basically been the playmate of the master's daughter, and that's how she learned how to read. And her sister suddenly dies and opens up this realm of secrets and lies and things that have been hidden from Junie, and Junie's coming of age and falling in love and facing heartbreak and just the tragedy of living in the antebellum South. And one thing that I really, really loved about this book was the narrative of the enslaved. It's not common to find a book about the enslaved where the focus is on like their ambitions and their dreams for their lives and like what they really wanted to experience from life outside of slavery. So I really thought that the author did a great job of creating this narrative. So Junie is definitely a book that you need to add to your TBR because it's just such a fresh perspective and really an interesting story as well. So yeah, don't miss out. Next up, we have Do What Godmother Says by L.S. Stratton. And this is like a historical thriller. It's definitely marketed as a psychological thriller, but I think it's a historical thriller because we have two perspectives, dual timelines, one in the Harlem Renaissance and one in present day. And the stories overlap and it follows, I think the main character's name is Shanice, as she inherits this painting from her grandmother, and the history of the painting goes way back down their family line. And then it has the other perspective of the other main character. I'm sorry, y'all. I read this book in the beginning of last year, so I kind of forgot the characters' names. But the woman in the Harlem Renaissance timeline also tells her story about how the painting came to be. When I tell y'all, this one actually like made me like turn the lights on a little bit. It was a little creepy, but it definitely was a great story. And I learned a lot about the Harlem Renaissance. And y'all know I'm from Harlem. So y'all know I love anything that's based in Harlem, but this was such a good book. Very twisty, turny that you expect from Ellis Stratton. She is the queen of putting a plot twist that makes your jaw hit the floor. So y'all should definitely be adding this one to your list as well. Now y'all know it would not have been a list if I didn't mention any John Gwynn. Last year was the year of John Gwynn for me. I read both The Faithful and the Fallen and the sequel series to that of Blood and Bone by John Gwynn, and they were both incredible series. If you want a true classic epic fantasy story, good versus evil, a chosen one that's coming of age and really grows into his own, found family, really epic battle scenes, then you have to check out these series. When I tell y'all, I flew through these chunky books. Like, they were so good. They made me laugh. They made me cry. The villains I absolutely hated, but the heroes I absolutely loved. And then in Of Blood and Bone takes place about 100 or so years after The Faithful and the Fallen. And again, it's gritty, it's dark, the battle scenes are epic, the scope is wide, the stakes are high. Y'all definitely need to tap into John Gwynn. Now, for another book that definitely had me in tears, y'all, is Zeal by Morgan Jerkins. And this book was so good. It's a dual timeline, dual POV story about love, loss, slavery to present age. It just was such a poignant story. It's so deep. The characters got on my nerves, but I also loved them. I was rooting for them. And I don't want to say anything to spoil the story, but please, if you don't take nothing else from this list, please pick up Zeal. I think it might have been my favorite book of last year of 2025. I don't know. But it was really good, y'all. Zeal was a phenomenal read. Please add it to your 2026 TBR. Next up, from my epic fantasy fans, we have another one. Debut book, debut author, and it is A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Ayindi. And when I tell y'all, this book just feels rich. And it's rich in the lore, the culture, the setting. It just feels so like so much depth. Like, it's easy to envision the world. The plot line is epic. It's multi-character, multi-POV, and the stakes felt really high. The battle scenes were epic. The magic system is really cool in this book. So please lock in and read A Song of Legends Lost. The next one comes out this year in June. So maybe save it to like the later half of the year so you can read them back to back. And one thing about me, y'all, I love me a psychological thriller, okay? And so 50/50 by Steve Kavanaugh is so good, y'all. First of all, Steve Kavanaugh, let's give him some. Because one thing about Steve, he's going to write a book that's going to make you think that you're crazy and that you think you know what's going on, but you really have no idea. 50/50 follows two sisters who are both at the scene of their father's murder, and we follow Eddie Flynn as he tries to figure out what's going on, and the twist at the end definitely had my jaw on the floor. One thing about Steve Kavanaugh, his books are very fast paced. I think I read this book in like 2 days because I just was like, I need to know what's going on. It was so good. If you need something short that's going to get you out of a slump, maybe start your year off with that, but definitely add 50/50 to your list as well. Literally after every book, I tell you to add it to your list because I'm not playing with y'all. Add it to your list right now. Now, I know I said Zeal was one of my favorite books of the year, but respectfully, all of them was my favorite. What can I say? But this book really just has stuck with me since I read it, and it is August Lane by Regina Black. And this was exactly what I look for in a romance. It had a deep storyline, but also the romance was fantastic. It felt like the characters were real. Like, I was genuinely a fly on the wall watching their lives play out. And August Lane follows August and Luke, who were somewhat of high school sweethearts. And August is the daughter of this black country music star, JoJo Lane. And Luke stole a song from August. And they just go through the motions of Luke coming back into town and them reconciling their relationship. August learning how to live with a superstar mother who's priority is not motherhood. It is her ambitions in her career. And it just is so, Regina Black is so talented. I am so mad that she only has 2 books out. Like, what are we doing, Regina? I need more. If you don't read anything else this year, read all of these. But August Lane is fantastic. Definitely the perfect romance for you to add to your 2026 TBR. And last but not least, we have Red City by Marie Lu. Another book that really caught me off guard with how much I enjoyed it. Now, I don't know if this is being marketed as a romantasy or just a fantasy with a romance subplot, but when I think about fantasy books that have a romance subplot, romantasy, whatever, this is the type of book that I am talking about, okay? About. Very interesting setting, magic system. The characters felt real and flawed and annoying, but uniquely their own. The romance in this book, I absolutely enjoyed. It's like a friends to enemies to something else. But Red City takes place in a fictionalized LA where there is a substance called sand that enhances one's essence pretty much. And there are syndicates that control the distribution of sand. And so Sam and Ari are the main characters, and this book follows their life from like middle school up through adulthood and their different attachments to the syndicates and how they get involved in this world of crime. And it's just like Asian mob boss type situation. I absolutely ate this book up and loved it. It's the first in a series. I don't know how many books are going to be in the series, but definitely one that I'm going to be continuing if and when it comes out this year. So yeah, this book was absolutely incredible. Loved it. So yeah, y'all, here are 11 books to help you build your 2026 TBR based on my favorite reads from 2025. So let me know down in the comments if you read any of these books, if you enjoyed them or not, and let me know some of your priority reads for 2026. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's anything that you want me to read, that you want me to talk about, please also let me know down in the comments below. And I will see you on the next one. Happy reading. Bye.